Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Flying Otters. I am stand-up comedian Jimmy McCartney, and along with me is our CTTO, the Chief Technical and Travel Officer, Kirsten Pacelli, who might be inciting our dog to jump up and go apeshit. Who knows? As you know, she is a fan of shark bubbles, and she's willing to even risk having our dog jump up and go apeshit when he's finally being timid.
Timid.
But it might be worth, not timid, what's the right verbiage there?
Calm.
When you're sleep deprived, folks, you're not good at being witty, creative, or using your vernacular. You know, you get a very limited,
I don't think you need to be witty and creative to know the word calm.
Well, thank you so much. Point Kirsten.
Anyways,
Point
here
Kirsten.
we are.
Point Kirsten. Kirsten 1, James 0. So she's off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Flying Otters. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. Some of it good, some of it bad. But that is the state of the world today. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing we're going to talk about, what's going on in Minnesota, is absolutely wild. It repulses me, and it absolutely makes me sick. I'm just going to read a little bit. Governor Tim Walz, who is currently under investigation from the Department of Justice, by the way, activated the Minnesota National Guard on Saturday to maintain order during the intensifying protests against ICE's Operation Metro Surge, which has arrested dozens of undocumented immigrants, also known as illegal immigrants, with criminal records. Tensions stem from the January 7th fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good during a raid with ongoing clashes, including tear gas and use of arrests on agitators. It is getting wild in Minnesota. It is going nuts. I saw videos of the number of leftist protesters just rioting and looting, and Kirsten saw them too. I shouldn't say looting. Let me take that back. Rioting and destroying property is the correct verbiage. They smashed up federal cars. In one case, they took out a gun from one of the federal cars. They also took out documents that are like legal documents for like arrest warrants and shit like that. It is wild in Minnesota, and it's spiraling. Now, here's the thing that's scary about it. There are two trains of thoughts. If the federal government basically wants to cool things down and put the foot on the brake and take the pressure off, that basically sends a message to all of these leftists all over the country. If the federal government is doing something we don't want, which is deporting criminal illegal aliens, and we just, kick and scream enough, they'll back off and we'll get our way. So that makes not only the federal government look like punks, but it incentivizes a message to the leftists all over that if we just destroy a couple cars and attack a couple people and, make enough of a fuss, they'll back off and we'll get what we want. But here's the problem. What's the alternative? If you double down and keep going, down that road to try to suppress it, it validates all of the claims that the leftists have been making. The left loves the idea of saying Trump is a dictator, Trump is a fascist. He wants to patrol the streets just like the Nazis did. So you bring in like the National Guard, or you bring in the Marines or the 101st Airborne, something like that, and you're in the streets, and then all these leftists can say, look, we were right. Look at what Trump did. So it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing at all. Trump is considering invoking the Insurrection Act, which basically would allow him to bring in the military to suppress this, which it would work in suppressing it. You wouldn't see the leftists attacking the ICE officers. You wouldn't see them rioting in the streets and doing all this crazy shit that they're doing. But it would validate the claims that the left is trying to make that Trump is an authoritarian dictator. And the reason why that's an issue, it's not the left already believes that. The issue is the people who are centrist, the people who live in Minnesota that are just apolitical. They don't really follow it that much. They just hear the left always in their ear saying Trump is a dictator, and then they walk out to get a slice of pizza and they see the 101st Airborne rolling down the street with a fucking tank.
Well, what if they see the people on the left destroying everything?
Then that makes the left look bad, and that's the thing. Like there's many layers to this. In terms of like what is the best political move to do. But when it comes, in my opinion, this goes beyond politics. Here's what I would say. This is my opinion. This goes beyond politics. This goes into what is happening in our country. Federal police officers, ICE agents who their job is to deport criminal illegals. Ladies and gentlemen, if you come into this country illegally, you committed a crime. If someone were to rob, like let's say someone in Portland, Oregon robbed a jewelry store and then they fled to Maine. Would it be wrong for the police officers to arrest that person in Maine and send them back for their hearing for committing a crime in Oregon? What these people did is they committed a crime, and those officers are doing the legal constitutional job that is mandated by our government to keep people that are here illegally out. If you went to any other country on earth, if someone from Chile were to go to Russia and stay there illegally, the police have the right to take that person and get them out of the country. That's what every other country on earth.
Someone from America went to any other country illegally,
yes,
and was just there hanging out illegally.
Yes.
They're going to get you out.
Yes. And if you were to ask a leftist that, like if you were to, this is how narrow-sighted the left is. If you were to go to a leftist and say, if a whole group of Americans were illegally residing in Kenya and they made their own city and they were like destroying the economy and whatever, like they had a negative impact on Kenya, would it be wrong of the government of Kenya to take those Americans and kick them out and send them back to America? They'd be like, of course, Americans shouldn't do that. But for some reason, the left believes that America isn't even a nation state. It has no right to exist, and anybody can just come in here without being vetted. And that's the thing that's important. You have people that come from, not all of them. That's a whole nother thing. The thing that's wild is that not all of them. I'm not saying that all people who here illegally are bad people. A lot of them are escaping a shitty situation in a shitty country, and they just want to live. It doesn't make it okay, but it doesn't make them horrific people for doing what is at best in their interest. However, there is a huge contingent of these people who are nasty, nasty people. People who committed rape, murder, extortion, drug trafficking, human trafficking in their country, and so they came up here. And no one knows who they are or what they're doing. And if you think that deporting those people back to their shithole country and in their crime-ridden country is bad, then you are an idiot. And if you do want to keep them here, you should be mandated to have them stay in your bedroom and sleep with you in your bed. Just have them sleep right next to you. If you want to be so cozy to these people who are unvetted and they're in this country and they've done all kinds of crazy shit, guess what? You should have to have them stay with you in your house. It is that simple. And if you're wondering why we are doing this, it is because our newborn son, for the first time in over 7 hours, finally laid down. We've been waiting to do this podcast for 7 hours because we've been waiting for him to sleep.
And he finally just went down, like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago when we started this. And he is making noises already.
And if he does it anymore, I'm going to have to go get him and come right back holding him in my hands.
And I will entertain
yep.
while you do that.
That'll be
I guess we could pause it, but...
No, I think you should just go with it.
I can entertain.
Yeah, you're going to have to spearhead it. You got this. But let me just make this point. I want to make it very clearly. Every single country on earth enforces their immigration law. Every single one. If Americans enter a country illegally, the government has the right to deport those people. Okay, that is that simple. And America doing that to enforce our own laws is not a bad thing. When you see people on the left that woman who got killed by the ICE officer who shot her, that's tragic. That sucks. There's a lot that goes into that situation. But the reason she was in that exact situation where she got shot is because she genuinely believed that ICE agents are the Gestapo from the Nazis who were just taking anyone they want off the street because they're brown and because they're Muslim or because they're gay and throwing them into a prison cell and then sending them off to nowhere. She genuinely believes that.
You do the entertaining.
You're going to grab him?
He will entertain you and continue his point.
You're going to go for it? Yep. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't think that America has the right to enforce its laws, you are wrong. You're wrong. We have laws for a reason. And if you think that those laws shouldn't exist, if you think that people should be allowed to be here without being vetted, meaning we don't know who they are, we haven't done background checks, we don't know what crimes they committed in the country they came from, if you think that you want to walk in the streets and demand that those people are allowed to stay in this country on an unlimited basis, and get the benefits of this country that a lot of Americans don't get. If you think that those people should be allowed to stay here unvetted, then you should be mandated to take those people in. You want to walk around in the streets and demand that people who are here illegally unvetted you want to demand that they get to stay? How about you live by the code that you speak of? How about you take those people into your house and you have them sleep on your couch at night with your bedroom unlocked? And if that thought makes you uncomfortable, that should make you realize why half of this country wants those people either deported or checked out. And if you can see very clearly, if you squirm a little bit on the idea of someone you don't know spending the night in your bedroom, then maybe you should have an understanding as to why Americans don't want those people living next door to them. There is nothing wrong with America enforcing its borders. There is nothing wrong with America choosing to exist. And if you think that America shouldn't exist, why don't you go to the countries that those people fled from? Here's a fun fact, leftists. When you see the Border Patrol agents and the ICE agents capturing those people who are here illegally, and you see how bad that they're flailing and screaming and crying because they don't want to go back to the country they came from, that should make you realize the horrors that they lived in. You people that think America is terrible live in an ignorant bubble that I can't even comprehend. Most of this world lives without electricity, water, internet, all kinds of things that we just take for granted. You think America is repressive and a horrible, awful, evil, terrible empire, but you have no comprehension of what the way that most of this world lives. Most of this world has to live in horrible conditions that you can't fathom, and you don't appreciate the sacrifices that your ancestors made generation after generation after generation to get you to a point where you could get a degree in fucking broadcast journalism with a minor in interpretive dance, and now you work for an internet-based company where you do reviews on different fabrics for dresses, and you make $75,000 a year to do that, and you think that you're a victim and you're oppressed? While you walk around with your smartphone and take hot showers and have hot food and live in an apartment and drive around in a car and get to travel all over the country wherever you want, you're an idiot and you're ignorant and you're selfish and you're entitled and you are a disgrace to your ancestors. I'm sorry. If you hate this country, you are ignorant, you are entitled, you are selfish, and you are a disgrace to this country. This country made mistakes. This country has flaws. No question about it. Absolutely full send. Everyone knows that. But guess what? Every single other country on earth does too and has done infinitely more egregious things in its past. And you don't know about them because you're ignorant to history and you don't want to look around and see the way the rest of the world operates. Now, here's the reason I make that point. America is a beacon of hope. America is a beacon of light. And the people that are enforcing our immigration laws are doing things that were written on the books before Donald Trump was ever even considering running for president. If you are committing a crime, there is punishment. People who came here illegally have to go back. And moreover, the people that are being prioritized by ICE are not someone who came across the border 25 years ago and have 3 kids. Those aren't the top of the list of the priority. You're talking about rapists. You're talking about murderers. You're talking about drug traffickers. You're talking about sex traffickers. You're talking about horrible, awful people that they're prioritizing and getting out of here. And you want to march in the streets claiming that these are the enforcement wing of a Nazi fascist empire. And the reason why you believe that is because you've been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed into believing that our government is infinitely worse than it is. You've been brainwashed into believing that you should hate the country that you grew up in. You've been brainwashed into believing that you should hate who you are as a person fundamentally because of the crimes that your ancestors may or may not have committed. Well, guess what? Your ancestors for multiple generations, countless ones as a matter of fact, fought and sacrificed. They came over here with nothing, and then they worked in a factory for 14 hours a day so that your grandparents could end up going to a job as like a DMV clerk so that your parents could go to college and get a degree as a teacher so that you could, now that you're in a middle-class lifestyle, could go and get a master's degree in like business administration or some shit, and now you're making 120 grand working for Amazon. And you want to claim that you're the victim of oppression when all of those generations sacrificed everything to get you to this point so you could turn around and say America sucks and it's an awful place and go around trying to prevent law enforcement from doing their job because you want to die on the hill that someone who's unvetted should be able to be allowed to stay here indefinitely. And, fun fact, you want a lot of those people to commit fraud and steal countless amounts of money from other taxpayers like you who go to work and have the government rip 30 or 40% of your paycheck out so that those people can steal your money and siphon it, a lot of it, back to Africa. What in the hell are you fighting for? And then go around protesting in the streets, screaming about how America is awful and trying to prevent those officers from doing their jobs and stealing legal documents. And then being empowered and emboldened because your governor and your mayor are saying that the federal government is awful. This is so twisted, Kirsten. Everything about it is so twisted. I want to be very clear. If you're a leftist, like you're a progressive, and you want to protest peacefully, I support you fully. I'm happy, and I support you to do that. You obviously have the right to voice your opinion. You don't have to agree with me fundamentally. But if you believe that violence against police officers is okay, if you believe impeding in their efforts is okay, if you want to scream about how America is awful is okay, if you want to support people who are stealing millions upon millions of dollars from you and me, if you think all of that is okay, you are an idiot. And fun fact, the reason why people are mad about the fraud with the Somalis is not because they're black or Muslim or from Africa. It's because they came to this country as us helping them escape an awful situation, and their way of repaying and thanking us is stealing our fucking money and living off of it without working and then sending that money back to Africa. What in the hell are we even talking about?
Did you even mention anything about that? The whole thing you were telling me earlier about the food.
What food?
The food that we gave as aid, foreign aid to Somalia.
This just came out that Marco Rubio, one of the high ups in the administration of our federal government, just announced that we are permanently cutting off all financial contributions to Somalia because it just came out that they destroyed a warehouse with 76 tons.
We'll be right back again.
76 tons. Did we bring food for him? 76 tons of food aid. So the American people, the American population, gave Somalia a warehouse of 76 tons, which a ton is 2,000 pounds. 76 tons of food aid to Somalia. And the Somalians destroyed it. And so thank God our federal government decided, Mac, come on, dude, get out of here. Lay down, Mac. Mac, come on, dude, lay down. Mac, lay down.
We're having a hard time.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the last 3 weeks, and we're going to talk about this, this is a topic that we had written down here, is what it's like having a newborn baby. And as you can see, oscillating between the needs of the baby and the needs of our dog, who is more needy than a baby, believe it or not. It's been very, very challenging. Mac, come on, dude. Come on. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Good boy. There we go. So basically, here's the end of my rant on this topic. What's going on in Minnesota is scary. It's crazy. And here's the thing that really, this is the point I was trying to get to. All of that shit was just kind of like a recap of you know, what we were talking about before. But here's where it matters because we're thinking about looking forward. The situation right now in Minnesota is scary because the left is feeling like they need to fight back against the federal government, and they're becoming more and more emboldened and getting more and more aggressive and angry, and there's more people swelling into the city at the same time in Minneapolis that the federal government is sending more and more ICE agents and more people, and the local government and the state government isn't really doing shit to stop this. It's a scary situation because what happens if the federal government leaves? That makes the left feel like if they just scare the feds, then they can do whatever they want. And if they stay and keep doubling down, then does it spiral into a situation where we're looking at, you know, combat in the streets? A prelude to civil war? That's how those things start. I'm not saying that I think it will, but it could. These are really scary times, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason why it matters is this. The reason why the left is this mad, obviously they don't like Trump. That's understandable. You know, it's like one thing like President George Bush when he got us into Iraq. Like if you hate Iraq, protest it, say George Bush sucks, fine. That was very different than this. That was very different. What's happening now is these people genuinely believe in their brain. They truly believe that Trump is Hitler. They truly believe it. And so they think that they're trying to stop fascism, which means what are they going to be willing and able and ready to do? And where does it stop? And you look at all these things that they're doing, it's because of the programming that they've been received, which the programming is bullshit. You can hate Trump and his policies. He is not Adolf Hitler. He's not. He is not. Trump may not be good. You may hate his policies, his positions, but he is not Adolf Hitler. And the way that it is spiraling right now is those people truly believe they're trying to stop that. And where does that go and what does it look like? People need to wake up and realize and look around and stop sensationalizing and stop trying to live in a fantasy land. You are not stopping fascism. You are not stopping the next rise of the Nazi Reich. You're not. You are cosplaying as a liberator because you want to convince yourself you're a virtuous person because you want to stand up for the Somali immigrants without actually caring about why people are trying to stop fraud. The whole thing is so twisted.
Didn't you say the other day, maybe it was yesterday, I don't even know. The days are all getting confused these days, but didn't you say something about how you feel, what the two options are of what could happen to America?
I feel like we're at a point because, yeah, this is just my opinion. I'm not basing any of this on fact or even trends. This is just how I feel, and I'm not claiming that I'm right. When you look at all of the things that are bubbling up, so I think part of the reason why you see the Somali community like battling this so hard, it's because they're getting caught in the fraud. When you see Tim Walz's reaction, who is the governor of Minnesota, and he's acting as if Trump and the feds are Gestapo and the Nazis and stuff, that's really bad. I think what's happening is like a lot of these things that have like stayed under the surface are all coming to the front. They're bubbling up, and Trump is a catalyst for it. Whether he intended it or not, Trump is making people all over the political aisle go nuts. And at the same time that it's happening in our country, the whole world seems to be doing the same thing, where it seems like things are culminating and they're bubbling up. You see Iran right now on the verge of having a full-blown revolution. There were talks that the Iranian government could collapse, which is a scary thing because Iran has a very strong military. They're a global power. That's pretty wild. You see the tensions going on with Russia and Ukraine, Venezuela, Israel, everywhere. There is just tension everywhere. And so to answer your, to go back to what you're saying, I have a feeling like, and I could be wrong, it feels as if we're culminating into something with all this craziness and all this chaos going all around us in every single direction. It feels like things are culminating, and we could go in one of two directions. One of them is, as a result of all this chaos and all of this tension, all of the fraud, all of the scandals, all of the bullshit, all of the bad things are being brought to light. And if we can get through that, then we're going to go into a new chapter of American dominance and American prosperity and American peace. And things can go really well for us nationally, and also as a reflection of us being the global superpower across the world. Or alternatively, option two, these things just keep spiraling. Either we divulge into a civil war, wars break out across the world, World War III breaks out with China and Taiwan or Russia. Who knows? It seems like we're on the verge of either going into a chapter of peace and prosperity or a chapter of complete collapse. And I want people to be very wary of that. You often hear me talk about my gripes and my issues with the left, but this is also true with the right. We need to be conscious of this. We can't be so divided that we want to turn against each other into a civil war. We can't be so ready to go all in on something that we lose sight of what the overall mission is, which is everybody doing well together. I don't want to live in an apocalyptic society. Me and you enjoy eating organic food.
United States.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoy very much going across the street and getting avocados from Mexico and getting organic non-GMO bread. I don't think I would fare very well in a post-apocalyptic world where I have to fight a rat for a slice of expired ham. I don't want to do that. And I don't think many other people do. So, let's keep our shit together here, folks. Let's keep our shit together. And let's not go insane. Let's not have a civil war or World War III. Neither would be fun.
No.
I don't want either. I want to live in peace, and I want us to do well. All I really want is for people to be able to look objectively at these things and not think through the lens of, either I'm fighting Adolf Hitler, right? Because you're not. You're just not. And America is the worst place in the world and it shouldn't exist. Neither one of those is productive. You can be as progressive as you want to, as long as you don't go into that realm. That's when, in my opinion, you've gone off the deep end. The sad thing is, I feel like mainstream media and social media and this idea of being inclusive and progressive has caused people to truly feel like America and conservatives are this awful, horrible, terrible thing that must be destroyed. It's such a weird thing, and it's a weird time to be alive.
It's a weird time to be born, too.
Yeah, and that's
the world he's going to be brought up in.
And we were talking about this. He's going to be in a world when all he's ever known is smartphones. All he's ever known is the internet. All he's ever known is AI. Like, he will grow up. Like, in the same way that, like, when we were 10 or whatever, Google started becoming a thing, he's going to grow up with AI at his fingertips. And not only that, robots
walking around.
robots are becoming unbelievably, like, efficient and able to do things. Like, I saw one video the other day that forklifts are going to be replaced because these two things that look like skis can just ride around in a warehouse and lift themselves up, like extend and then move shit.
Pretty sure Amazon already has those.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, they exist, right? So you look at that, fucking drones, Optimus 3, like, robots are going to be everywhere. Like, things are pretty wild right now, and things are changing. And I just really want us to go into a direction where things go well. And it just feels like, you know, maybe we use our nukes and we nuke ourselves into oblivion. Or maybe we go into a position where things are looking good and peaceful finally. It feels like it's culminating to something. Do you feel that way? Or does it just feel like chaos to you?
Feels pretty chaotic. For the most part. I mean, it's kind of hard to see peace through all the shit that's going on. It's like at some point something's got to give, and then more just keeps happening and more just keeps happening. And then you wake up in the morning and you open up social media and you're like, oh, cool. Wait, this happened.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The next thing. And it's like almost not even a surprise anymore. You know, when you go like a week or something without some kind of big news thing happening, you're like,
yeah.
But things are happening so often that you forget, like, the Minnesota stuff happens, and then it's like, oh, well, what's happening in Venezuela?
That's true. No one's talking about Venezuela, and that was like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
It's not even trending in the news anymore. It's like it just...
And I was thinking about it, like, when you were talking about the illegals earlier, remember that whole Alligator Alley, the Florida one?
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that?
Honestly, I don't know. The last that I heard was that a federal judge got involved and initially tried to stop them from even using it. And then that got overturned. And then another federal judge tried to say, like, the ones that are there can stay, but you can't import new ones.
Like, are they still there?
I honestly don't know. And that's testament to what you said about how things just get lost in the news cycle. Because, Mac, what are we doing here, dude? You may think, ladies and gentlemen, that having this guy that she's holding is, like, the most demanding, but you'd be surprised. This guy is a really close second. He is not far, far away. He demands pretty much anything and everything. But to your point, I honestly don't know, and that's a very... And you know, like, we follow the news, I think, more than most people. I don't remember what the final outcome with that prison was. I don't. And that just goes to show you, there's only, like, people actually talk about this.
You can only keep up with so much.
Exactly. There are certain things that you, like, think about all.
Everything is on the news. Like, like back in the day, you know, you only got whatever big stories were out there. And now that social media is a thing, it's like you have to not only hear about every single thing that's going on, but also you have to decipher what's even real.
Yeah. And with AI and videos that look, and this is the infancy stage. Here's the thing to think about, people. When you look at AI and the things that it's doing and the videos it's recreating, the way it can replicate the voice of someone and the look of someone, this is the very, 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 very beginning. This is the equivalency of, like, think about the Wright brothers' flight in, like, 1906 or 1908, the first flight of airplanes. It was, like, 12 seconds. That was, like, 120 years ago, 110 years ago. Look at what we are doing now. We went to the moon in, like, fucking 50 years. We went from never flying ever to going to the moon. Now, that's a whole nother thing. But we went from...
I heard they're testing stuff to possibly go back to the moon next year.
I've heard talks that they're thinking about putting AI data centers on the moon because it's so cold there that it'll keep, like, the servers cool or something. So, like, the moon could become a legitimate base of operations for, like, tech companies. But my point is, when you think about what it is and where it started, which is here and now, right? That's the equivalency of, like, where flight began, you know, 110 years ago versus where it is today. It's like two completely different universes. And when you see AI being able to replicate virtually perfectly right now, like live action video that looks like things are real, imagine what it's going to do in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And that growth is going to be exponential. It's not going to be linear. It's not just going to, like, steadily move along. And then what does that have to do? Like, I've thought about this for a long time. It would be so easy to frame someone for a crime with AI in 10 years. Oh, here's the video evidence of you doing this. Here's your voice. Here's the security camera footage. Like that type of shit. Oh, we caught you in this scandal. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's a pretty wild thing. And to your point, there's, like you said, there's
like
only...
what it does for politics. Like, people are already confused. People already have misinformation.
Mm-hmm. And you said there are only so many things you can keep track of. You know, and we're people who try to stay informed on this stuff, I think, more than most people. And it's impossible. You can't. And so there's a reality where it's like there's going to be certain things that happen and people just forget about. They just let it go because they can't keep track of it. Does he need more?
I don't know what he needs. He was just falling asleep.
Do the special move.
It's hard when I'm sitting down.
I know. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that I think is a good segue, believe it or not, which segues are not our specialty, into the next topic, which is Donald Trump does want to buy Greenland. And here's the thing, just so you all know that I'm trying to be objective and not just be like biased towards the right at the expense of the left. Let me see here. Where is it? Let me see here. I'm trying to find it in news. Anyway, I can't find the topic, but basically you guys have heard about this. Trump really, really, really desperately wants the U.S. to control Greenland, which is one of the biggest islands in the world, and it sits at the edge of the Arctic Ocean in the shipping lanes of the Arctic. It is very quick access for missiles to go from Russia or China into the U.S. or Europe. And so it's very important. Apparently, it also controls a lot of rare earth minerals. It also controls a shit ton of natural water. Greenland is a very, very, very significant island, and it's become extremely important as the polar ice caps are starting to recede and Arctic shipping lanes are opening. It's also very important for airspace. Now, a lot of people don't know that the U.S. currently has, it's called Thule, and you actually know this. Remember months ago I tried to do a show in that Air Force base in northern Greenland. It's a base most people don't even think about because it's at the very northern tip of Greenland. The United States currently has an Air Force base there, and they also have other troops around Greenland. But basically, Trump wants us to control and own Greenland, which only has 50,000 residents that live there. But it's a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, a fucking Viking country that for like 1,000 years has controlled Greenland, and no one's given a shit because it's just like a frozen wasteland with 50,000 people there. No one cares. But now it's become vital. And so that people can know that I'm not just like a right-wing, like diehard conservative. I am very against what Trump is doing in Greenland right now. Not a fan. Some people believe he's playing 3D chess. So basically, this is what it is. Trump is saying Greenland will become a U.S. territory, and it's going to happen the easy way or the hard way. So people are interpreting that as Trump is either going to buy it or invade it, right? And so like a lot of people are freaking out saying, look, Trump's a dictator. Trump wants to take things over. Now, a lot of people on the right are saying, in reality, Trump is just posturing this aggressively so that he can force the NATO countries, not just the U.S., but Europe, to focus a lot more attention on Greenland and defend it properly from Russia and China. So he's actually just doing this as a way to indirectly make them look like idiots so that they send troops and equipment over to Greenland so that they can properly defend it against Russia and China's aggression. Some people think that. Maybe not. I don't know. But in any case, I really don't like this. Greenland is a part of Denmark, and Denmark is a member of NATO. NATO is our closest military allegiance, and the reality is the United States is not in a position where we can piss off all of our allies, even though they've treated us like shit. They haven't been paying their fair share. They do not appreciate the things that the United States do. They're entitled, and they feel like they expect us to just do all this shit for them, and then they badmouth us and treat us like shit. So Europe has really kind of been assholes, in my opinion. But regardless, I think what Trump is doing by basically inferring no matter what happens, we're going to get Greenland, I think that's a huge mistake, especially at a time where you got China and Taiwan on the verge of, possibly going to war, North and South Korea all the time. Iran is on the verge of having a military collapse of their regime, which that's not necessarily a good thing because all of that military equipment, who's going to take over if the government does fall, right? Like there's chaos all over the world. The last thing we need is to piss off all of our rock solid allies. And Trump is demanding that we take a part of Denmark's territory. Like we're going to do it one way or another. And we're bullying our allies, and maybe we can do it, but should we? Should we? And the new thing that came out, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I typically have it on my phone, but I don't have the exact numbers to read to you, but basically Trump just levied a threat saying that if Greenland does not become a part of America by us compensating Denmark, meaning if they refuse to do a sale, we're going to impose tariffs on fucking Europe, like we did with China, our adversary. And, like, obviously that doesn't stop there. They would probably impose tariff, and then we would do more, and they would do more. And now we're in a fucking trade war with our closest allies. Does that make sense? I get it. Greenland has a lot to offer. And I've thought about this, like, keeping the servers cold for AI. We could do that in Greenland because it's so fucking cold there, and they have so much ice. Like, and that's just one aspect. There's rare earth minerals, the shipping lanes, the access to being able to understand like air traffic and missile incoming technology, all of that shit. Greenland does have a lot to offer. But just because we want it, should we take it? That is what empires do, and we have always claimed we're not an empire, we're a republic. Right? America has been the dominant superpower, and we're the first one to do it benevolently, meaning we didn't just say we can take whatever we want, so we're going to do it, bitch. That's one of the things I've prided America on, is that we haven't done that shit. That's my thought on Greenland. I'm really fired up tonight.
Yeah. You have a lot more energy than me. I'm dealing with trying to keep this one calm.
And our needy dog. Speaking of that, now, if we don't have anything more to say on Greenland, let's go to our third topic, which I want you to spearhead this one. What it's like to have a newborn baby. And you can attest to it very directly right now.
I guess it depends on the day. Mac.
He's trying to get comfortable and lay down like that.
But do you have to go right there? It's like a $3,000 camera lens right where he's trying to lay down and get comfortable.
All right, Mac, come here. Mac, come here. Come here, Mac. Let's go.
Mac, there's a lot more room where you can lay down and be just as close.
Good boy. Good boy.
What about what it's like to have a dog?
This is the
douchebag dog.
This is the newborn baby, and that's just a child.
I birthed the toddler.
Yeah, you did. Look at the size of that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not a 4-month-old baby. That is... Mac, that spot sucks, bro. It's the only spot he wants to lay is next to the lens. Mac, come here.
This baby is 3 weeks old.
Whoa.
Oh, my gosh. I know how to get him out.
What?
Shark bubbles.
No, that'll just make him jump. All right, here we go.
Mac, if you knock over the computer.
I know, dude. He needs to chill out. Mac, lay down, please. All right. Talk about a newborn baby. Here we go. What it is like having a newborn baby. Tell the crowd.
My nipples hurt.
Coming out of the gate strong.
Yeah, we are exhausted. Everything you read online is conflicting. So when you think that you're trying to like help yourself by preparing or getting out of the place where you're like, oh my God, this is never going to end. And like, oh, the cluster feeding is, should be at 5 days old. And then you read the next article and it's like, okay, we've made it past the 5-day mark. And then it's like, oh, 2 to 3 weeks. And then you're like, okay, cool. Well, we've made it past that mark. And then it's like 6 months.
It should mellow out after 6 months. They're going through a fast growth spurt.
So you never know what to expect. And every single day is different. Some days he sleeps all day. Some days he does not sleep at all, like today. He literally has not slept at all today. We brought him to the aquarium, and he slept for maybe an hour while we were at the aquarium. The entire time we were at the aquarium where we wanted to bring him so he could see things, he was asleep. Other than that, he was wide awake.
Non-stop eating,
and we are not allowed to put him down. Because God forbid he lays down in his own bed or on the couch for 3 minutes.
Hates, ladies and gentlemen, hates being left alone. Not even alone, just not being touched. He has to be touched like that. Has to. And he gets that from his mother. Believe it or not.
And then when he eats all day long, he poops while he eats.
And
he gets that from his father. And he farts a lot.
All of those things are true, but to be fair, I very rarely eat while pooping.
Yeah.
But the frequency and necessity of them is my fault. Yes, that is true. But yeah, so basically he's awake all day long, which is good. If it's going to be one way, it's better that he's awake all day instead of all night. So that's true. But it's really, really hard when one of us has to be holding him and we can't do it. Like we've wanted to do this podcast since like 11 a.m. and it is now
We've wanted to do this
10:51.
podcast for like 3 days.
Yeah. It is now 10:51 p.m. and this is the first opportunity we had. And even then we still had to bring him in because he wouldn't stay asleep for even an hour.
It was, I think we got to a solid 5 or 6 minutes.
Yep.
Before we heard him. So.
Yep. That's our boy. He's very healthy. We're very lucky that he eats well. He shits well.
He's also very sticky.
Yeah. He puked on this shirt 4 times today. I think you got 1.
I got like 2 or 3.
2 or 3. I had 4. So yeah, that gentleman pukes a lot, poops a lot, eats a lot. There's just a lot.
He pees while we're changing his diaper.
Tell them about the geyser. Tell them the story of the geyser.
Was that in the middle of the night?
No.
Oh.
It was at a really bad time. Like it was, I don't remember when it was, but like we were already like really tired or frustrated or something.
We've been really tired for 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Anyways, we lay him down to go change him, and it still takes 2 of us at a time to change him because he
I just got stabbed by this guy's antler because he also has. See, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just him. He has to be touched all the time, too. You see it in the episodes. He can't stand it. He has to be with us, and he has to be touched.
We have to split up our time between who's playing Mac games and who's playing Jamie games. And basically that means who is holding and feeding Jamie or who is playing rough with Mac. Anyways, the geyser. So we laid him down to change him, which takes 2 of us. And as we're changing him and wiping him off from his nasty diaper, he poops. Okay, not that bad. So we wipe that off, and then he poops again. And so we wipe that off.
And now it's like gushing down his butt crack.
Yep. So it's like flowing down his butt and getting all over the changing area. And so we're trying to clean up the changing area at the same time. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. And there keeps becoming more and more. And then all of a sudden, it sprays. It sprays all the way up my arm.
It shot. It didn't just like come out of him or like have like a loft. It like shot like a bullet straight out of his butt and went all over her.
It made me jump.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It was really gross.
Yep. The velocity on that was astonishing. Like if we had like one of those radar trackers and we could track the speed, it would have been at least 70 miles per hour exit velocity on that. That was astonishing how much came out of him.
Yeah, so that's fun.
But how would you feel, though? I mean, we've never done this before. Neither one of us had even ever... I have 6 nieces and nephews. I've never held babies before because they scare me because they're so fragile. This was completely new to both of us. We literally were in the hospital for 2 days, and they showed us how to change diapers and how to put him in a quote-unquote swaddle, which we hate that word, so we say a burrito. And they said, okay, go ahead. You can raise a human now. Here's how you change a diaper. Now go raise a human. No, diaper, and here's how you feed him.
I've never held a baby, especially a newborn, ever.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I held him in the hospital. I don't think I could.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
I think they just sent us home, and I'd never even picked him up before.
Wow.
I didn't change any diapers in the hospital, that's for sure.
Whoa.
Because you had the nurse helping you, and you did all the burritos, and
yeah,
you did all that stuff, and I just laid in bed.
And then they said, "Go raise a human now. You got.
The most
you can
I
do
could
this."
do was like 1 lap around the hospital.
On Christmas Day, you did 3. It was either 2 or 3. I don't remember.
By that, I mean the hospital floor that we were on.
Yeah, the
had
maternity
like 10
floor.
rooms that I had to walk past, and that was it. So
Yeah. But so anyway, what we mean by that is either one of us had any experience at all with a newborn, which we were really scared. We are very exhausted, but my mom actually said it tonight on the phone that she thinks we're actually doing really well. You know, we've never done this, but, you know, we're exhausted, but we're doing it. He's eating really well.
we've had so many people send us so many things.
So many people have helped us. We're very, very lucky. Wow, we are lucky. We barely had to buy anything for him because so many people have been so kind to us.
He's got like a whole bookshelf full of books. We haven't bought a single one.
Yeah.
He's got more clothes than we can fit in the dresser.
Toys, his 2 beds, his changing station, his diapers, his
All
wipes.
the diapers, yeah.
We really haven't had to buy anything to like get started, and well, right back to the spot.
What does he want under there?
He just wants to be close to us, and for some reason he's fixated on laying there. But I mean, we're definitely exhausted. It's been really hard, but I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it really well.
We're definitely doing it. I mean, he's getting fat, which is good.
That's the mission.
Mac.
Did he put his mouth on that?
No, he came close.
Mac, come on, dude. He's sitting on my foot.
They're both just staring at me.
You're doing big things, buddy. Thank you so much for your contributions, Mac. Good.
Okay.
Actually, that works. Why couldn't you do that?
That wasn't comfortable enough.
All right. So, what are your conclusions? What are your thoughts on not only what it's been like, what would you say? Do you think it's more or less intense than you expected? Do you feel like people shouldn't be as afraid as they get? Should they be more afraid?
It's definitely as intense as I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because you don't really know what to expect, you know? How could you?
Yeah.
But I mean, you expect not to sleep. You expect to not be able to do things, you know, as just us anymore, obviously. But it's hard, especially not having people very close that are just, you know, a call away and can come and do a night shift for us.
Yeah. Take him for a couple hours.
Take him for a
We
couple
have
hours
not
to
had
let
a
us
single
nap.
break.
Yeah.
We haven't had a single break. Not one. And it's been 3 weeks now.
Yeah, he'll be 4 weeks on Tuesday.
In nearly a month we haven't had a single break. So it's exhausting, and the thing is it's like it keeps wearing. It's not like it's like most people have, like, they're like, oh man, I'm gonna have this training seminar where I won't sleep for 2 weeks or whatever. It's like a set period. This is not like that.
Yeah.
This is the way it is now.
But there are things that happen where it's like, you know, this morning he woke up and was just smiling right at us, and
Yeah.
you know, making eye contact and smiling and just doing little things and making little steps, you know,
Yeah.
is really cool to see. And I'm sure it'll only get cooler.
He's picking his head up, kinda. He's strong as hell. You know, there's a lot that's happening quickly.
He loves staring at the fan.
What was I just gonna say about that?
He loves reading books.
Loves his weird ass book.
Yep.
He loves shapes. That's like a big thing for him.
The black and white pictures.
He loves black and white. I hope he's not colorblind, but he loves the black and white side of this book that we got him. But I mean, think about the fact, like, that's our genetic code, you know?
Yeah.
And he's healthy. He's strong. He's clearly, like, all together. You know, we're really fortunate for that.
He's going to need his first haircut by the time he's a month old.
Yeah, he's going to be working by the time he's 2 and in the NFL by the time he's 9.
He's already started training.
His hand, ladies and gentlemen, like, when he squeezes his hand on your thumb, it is so strong if he chooses to be. He's a strong boy, and we're really lucky. And to everybody who's watching that has supported us, thank you so much. We cannot explain in words how much it means, because, you know, we have lots of friends around here, but there's no family right here with us. And we didn't have to buy anything for him when we first got started because people were so supportive with.
And people still send us gifts all the time.
Yeah.
What we get, like 2-3 gifts this week.
Yeah. Yeah. So to everybody who's given us support and love, thank you so much. To anybody who has a newborn on the way or is in it right now and you're going through a hard time, respect to the struggle that you're going through, and all you can do is do your best and just give them love. It's really difficult, but you're also going to figure out that you're capable of doing things like, think about how just like when your dog, when you just had like a little bit of his poop touch your finger that one time, it made you puke. Remember you telling me that years ago?
Yeah.
And he shit all up your forearm and you just handled it. You know, like you can do things that you didn't think you can do out of love, you know?
And he pukes all over our shirt and
it's just, it is.
Wear it around.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is
you know?
what it is.
And that's the way it goes. And it's like, it's, you become stronger than you thought you could be. And, you know, you do things you don't think that you can do. I'm really hoping that soon we can get into a position where we're more efficient, because I feel like I'm falling behind on everything and failing at everything just because I feel so overwhelmed with like not being able to like do tasks and stuff.
But also we are really lucky because we've gone through this whole thing and been able to both be home. And
yeah,
you know, we're both super involved and we're both able to be here and we're both very helpful with each other. And,
yeah,
you know, we wake up every time at night with each other, and that goes a really long way. Just being able to both be here and just be a team, because
yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing it alone. I couldn't imagine if you had to go for a day job and like already be back at work and I was here all day. Like,
that'd be really hard.
I'd be frantic. I wouldn't know what to do.
It'd be really draining.
I mean, and especially with Mac too.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. And I mean, there definitely are people, and we know people that have babies and also toddlers and kids, you know, and they're home by themselves. And that's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are very lucky in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. So to anybody that is raising a human and you feel stressed and tired and exhausted or burned out or feeling like you're failing, you know, as long as you're trying really hard, shout out. And, you know, God bless you. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But also, like, we have a happy, healthy boy. You know, we're very, very fortunate. You know, we're very fortunate. There's so many different things that could have happened to him in the birth process, genetically, you know, all kinds of things. We're very, very lucky. He's a very special boy, you know, and we both feel like he's going to be special as he poops for the 15th time today. Yeah, he's pooping. Here's the thing. That guy can sit in his diaper. He doesn't even care if they're shitting it. You can tell when he's pooping really hard because his whole face turns beet red. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, on the note of a 15th poop today, I want to go to my favorite segment, the most important one of the Flying Otters podcast, Kirsten's Hot Take.
Oh, I have to get it ready.
Oh, it's not even ready?
Well, it is ready. I have to just get it pulled up. This is a...
Wait, let me intro you.
It's a sequel.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for my favorite segment of the Flying Otters podcast, Kirsten's Hot Take.
Since last week's hot take was so hot and you loved it, I made a list of more things that are political and shouldn't be. I haven't reread what I wrote, but here we go. More things that are political and should not be: fraud, crime, law enforcement, and accountability, cars, reality TV, education, religion, sexuality, who we're empathetic towards, race, and gender.
And you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. If we could translate that, what Kirsten just said in a very nice tone, she listed out all of the different issues where you should not be a pussy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't get offended by those things
And if
in any way possible.
And if you are, instead of raging war and trying to cancel people, get them fired from their jobs, attacking them, and, I don't know, rioting in the streets, what's an alternative that someone could do?
Swoop.
And just, there they go, they disappear, and you don't have to worry anymore. So the moral of the story on episode 15 of the Flying Otters podcast,
14.
ladies and gentlemen. No, last time was 14.
I thought last time was 13.
Nope. 13 was before Jamie. Then we just did 14 the other day, and this is 15.
15.
The moral of the story of episode 15 of the Flying Otters podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is don't
get eliminated.
Don't be
A pussy.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't be a pussy. That is the message here from Flying Otters podcast that we would like to send out to the ether and to everyone across the world. Don't be a pussy, ladies and gentlemen. Go enjoy your life. And if you don't enjoy something else, just ignore it. And how about you go find something else to give a fuck about? I don't know. You pick up a hobby. Maybe stop giving
if you don't like it, you can get...
That's the message for today, ladies and gentlemen. So to everybody who did listen, because you've been tuning in for this many episodes and for this long of a podcast, you already are not pussies. So congratulations to you. You earned our respect. That's awesome. We want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in. We hope that wonderful things come to each and every single one of you. You deserve it. Thank you all so much for being a part of something that makes us feel like we're making a difference in the world. Even if it is just for our fussy newborn baby and our incredibly clingy and anxious dog. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Flying Otters.
Couple more seconds.
I'm just going to hold it like this because I cut it off too soon.
Peace.